Okay, so we are good now. Please let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see my screen and you can see me as well. Good evening, everybody. If you are just joining us, you are welcome. You're welcome. Good to have you here with us. So, because of our network glitch, we had to set up a new link for this meeting. So, are we here? Have you invited your friends? Don't listen to this session alone. Good evening, Evelyn. Good to have you here, dear sis. Good to have you here. Yeah, so we are running out of time already. So who knows why we are here? Who knows the topic? We're looking at balancing, guiding our children with helping them to explore their world. Please kindly remind every other person in the group to join us. Very important. This is a session not to miss. This is a session that no one is expected to miss. Don't miss this session for any reason. So you're welcome. If you are just joining us, you're welcome. If you are just joining us, it's good to have you here. If you are just joining us, it's good to have you here. So I'm looking at us just having 1 minute more and then we start. Okay, okay. So it's good to have us here. It's good to have us here. This is going to be an interesting topic, and I'm sure you are ready for all of it. How to balance guiding your child and allowing your child to explore life on their own. So, if you are here and you believe that children can actually explore life on their own, let me see your comments. Let me see you. Let me see your comments. Do you believe that there is a way to balance guiding your children and also helping children to evolve? This is going to be an interesting conversation, and I'm so happy to be here again today. This is 2025. Yeah. Did we enjoy the sessions that we had 2024? I'm very sure that 2025 is going to be another amazing time and a very amazing topic that we have here today. One of the things that is very important is that we love to bring topics that are practicable, topics that you can bring life to, topics that you can relate with, topics that you can easily practice on your own. So that is the reason why whenever we are discussing, we are also going to be looking at how does it apply to what we do on our day-to-day life. So I'm excited to be taking this topic with us, guiding a child and also allowing them to explore their world. So basically, guiding a child involves helping the children to develop good behavior, helping them to develop self confidence, and teaching them how to make responsible choices. So there is a time in life that we are the sole responsible individual when it comes to making decisions for our children. That is the time when they are not even fully aware of what is happening in their environment. When they are still very young, you are making choices of the kind of clothes they will wear, you are making choices of the kind of food they will eat, you are making choices of the kind of school that they would also attend. Yes, these are the times that we actually have sole responsibility of making choices for our children. I'm sure you also know that as we are making these choices, our children are watching us. They are looking at us. They are trying to figure out what is going on in our minds that is making us to make this kind of decisions for our children. Sometimes when parents take clothes, they say, oh, my daughter says she doesn't like this clothes, and then she wants another one. It is actually for us to know that these children are thinking. So for the fact that they cannot really express everything that is happening to them at that time does not mean that they are not thinking. It doesn't mean that they can't also make decisions that they feel is best suited for them. So if you look at the topic that we are talking about now, when it comes to guiding our children and also helping them to be able to make life decisions that it will impact on their development later in life. So when it comes to guiding our children, we are helping them to develop a good behavior, to develop confidence. We are teaching them how to make responsible choices. So that should actually come to mind and say, am I actually making a responsible choice with this particular decision I'm making for my child? So that's why when it gets to a particular time, for example, a child is moving from the junior class to the senior class in secondary school, that is the time they begin to say, oh, they want to go to sciences, they want to go to arts class, they want to go to accounting class. Sometimes parents feel that even at this time they are the ones that can actually make the sole decision. But I tell you, if you have actually been doing the work from the time that the child was in primary school, teaching the child how to make informed decision, by the time this child is getting to that kind of class, they will be able to make a decision that will be best suited for them. So somebody was sharing with me 2 weeks ago about how the daughter was struggling with further maths. She's in SS1, she's going to SS2, and she feels, oh, this girl has never struggled this way from her primary school. She has been finding it excellently, going on well. What is happening all of a sudden? And then the question I asked, this class that she is, what kind of class is it? She says it's a science class. I know that sciences give you an option of making different choices when the child is about to get to the university. However, it doesn't end at that. You are supposed to actually allow the child to make a decision that is best suited for them. There's a possibility that if that child had been in art class or had been in accounting class, it might be flying in high colors, in beautiful colors, in might be having excellent grades, no struggles at all, because that is what is best suited for the child. So we need to begin to check the decisions that we are making even before the time that the child is able to make decisions on their own. We need to be sure that we are not making this decision based on our own interests. We need to ensure that we are working towards the best interest of the child. So for me, I have personally made up my mind that I am not going to make that choice for my child. When it's time for her to enter that senior class, make a decision on whether you want to go for arts you want to go for sciences, or you want to do accounting, it is solely your responsibility, because whatever is going to happen in that class or in that field is only going to be handled and managed by you. And then you would not later come and say, oh, if not for my mommy, if not for my daddy that insisted. Has anybody ever experienced this? I have personally experienced it. I had a friend. He is a medical doctor, currently a medical doctor. But obviously, you would see that that discipline is not what he enjoys doing. He complains every time, and then one day he got to the level where he said, I did this course for my daddy, and right now I feel like I want to be an engineer. And at that point, I said, not after how many years of being out of school? That's a whole lot already. You can't even bring yourself to now begin to reason this way. However, you can actually make that decision of going back to school, but there's a lot of factors that need to be put in place to ensure that psychologically he will be ready to actually take up whatever responsibility come up at that. So he just has to manage himself within where he has found himself. We can avoid this happening to our children if we actually lay a good foundation for them before they get to that stage where they begin to make informed choices. And that is why the definition of guidance that we're looking at today is so critical. So when are we expected to guide our children? When do we guide our children? Number one, we are expected to guide them when everything is going on smoothly, when things are going on the way we expect, or when nothing unexpected has happened. That is the best and the most appropriate time to guide our children. And another thing is when you want to help them to develop appropriately, you have identified something that is very important that would impact on their personal development. It's a good time to guide them. It's a good time to bring your advice, to bring the quality of information that you have as an experienced person, as a parent, as an elderly person, or possibly it can even be related to what you know how to do. At that time, you can guide them. Another time that you can guide children is when things are not going on smoothly. At that time, you can actually give advice based on what you think is appropriate that can help them to improve on what they are currently doing. Are we still here? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? If you can hear me, say yes. We can hear. If you can hear me, say yes, I can hear. Let me see. Let me see who can hear me. We've talked about guidance, we've talked about when to guide our children. So let's look at why we need to guide our children. Why do we need to do it? Why is this so important to guide them? It actually helps them to understand responsibility and morality. It helps them to understand responsibility and morality. When it comes to responsibility and morality, they need to be guided. And you see, their guidance is also dependent on the way we are going about handling our own responsibility. How are we going about handling moral issues? Do we go about abusing people when things don't go the way we expect? How do we manage issues that are not happening to our favor? You don't have to sit a child down every time before you are able to guide them. Our actions, our words, the things we do, the things we say, where we go, the decisions we make actually goes a long way to show the child that yes, they are supposed to be responsible. Morality is very key because the major impactor, who is their parents, is also following the right path. Another reason why it's important to guide our children is that it helps them to develop their confidence, their self-confidence. When they are being guided appropriately, they will be able to confidently make decisions that will improve them, that will help them to develop. They will be able to make decisions that will be so important, and they will be confident that they are making the right decisions for themselves. Yes, this is very important. Very, very important. Very, very key that we need to know. Another very important reason why we need to guide our children is to help them solve problems. They need to begin to see themselves as problem solvers. So we now guide them in that line. We guide them in such a way that they are able to position themselves to be solution providers, to be problem solvers. When they identify an issue, the first thing that will come to their head is, if it was my mommy that is in this situation, this is the way she's able to handle it. Can we confidently say that our children can say that about us? This is where it starts from. The way we handle things is also going to help them to handle situations that way. It's going to help them to solve problems that way. So everything is all about us. Parenting is about us. Developing a child is about us. Whatever our children become today or tomorrow is a function of what we have deposited in them. And this is being deposited based on our actions, the things we do, the things we say, the behaviors that we exhibit. So let's go to how to guide our children. Remember, we're going to be balancing guidance together with allowing our children to explore their world. So a time is coming where we don't have sole responsibility to make decisions. Why do we think that children will bring a spouse home, and that is the time that the parents will now begin to say, no, you cannot marry? Such a parent that does that has not done well, have not done well for their child. If you have actually guided the child appropriately, that stage is not the stage where you begin to now make decision for the child. It has passed, the time has passed. So that is why making that decision begins from when they have not really understood, when they are still exploring the world, when they are looking at the way we as parents are doing things, and we already have systems in place, structure is in place, that this is the kind of family that we marry into. This is the reason why we do that. This is the kind of family that you cannot marry into. This is the kind of man that you can marry. This is the kind of man that you cannot marry. It is not pride, it is called self-preservation. We are seeing a lot of ills happening in our society today based on bad choices of friendship, bad choices of spouses to marry. It is going to be unfair for us to sit and still allow our children to make such a mistake. And we won't have to wait until the time that they are beginning to bring their spouses. That's when you now want to raise your voice. No. It starts from the kind of friends they have in primary school. They need to even know who is qualified to be their friend, who is qualified, who is not qualified. So if you have already done that work, from that stage, they already carry the mentality of kinship. They carry the mentality that they cannot just do anything they like. They can't do things anyhow. This is our family dynamics. This is our family governance structure. This is the way every child that comes from our family is supposed to do things. So we won't have to wait until the time they enter university before you now begin to make. At that time, it is late. It is late already. At that time, they've already made some decisions that you cannot undo. So it is very important to understand the timing when it comes to developing, guiding our children, helping them to know how to make informed decision. It is time bound. It is time bound. There's an adage that says, make haste while the sun shines. That's just it. Make haste. And you know that Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6 keeps saying, train up, train up, train up. So you're supposed to train up the child in the way you should go. It's not when he's already an adult that you will now start showing the child how to go or where to go or what to do. You're supposed to train up. So if there's anybody here that has not started having that conversation with their child, even if the child is in primary school, you are running late already. You are running late and you are the only one left on that journey. It is high time to begin to make those informed decisions, making structures, putting systems in place. And that's why we say join an academy. There are some things that you cannot do, you can't do on your own. You might not be able to understand how to put all of it together. So joining a support group would actually help you to be able to figure out how to position your child, the right time to do what, and even what to do. How to make them to understand relationships, how to make them understand how to make friendships, how to make them understand how to position themselves to get the best of what God has destined for them. It is not when they are all grown, when they have tried to figure it out by themselves, because that is what most of our children are doing. They are figuring it out. They are figuring it out. The parents are not even there. We are focusing on things that are not relevant for them now. The things that would impact on their development, we are not doing it. We are not following the word of God. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, so that when he grows. Don't we think that there's a reason why it's like that? It said train up. If you have not started training up, you are not fulfilling scriptures. You are not fulfilling scriptures. How do we guide our children? Show and tell. I've been saying it. Show and tell. You have to teach them. Teach them. Teach them. With the way you speak to them, with the things that you do, with the quality of decisions that you even make as a parent. They are looking at you and they are just imagining in their mind, why would my mommy even do this? And they can't ask you. If they ask you like this, you will show all your eyeballs to them. So they are afraid to even ask questions. They are just watching in silence. The best and the most important way to guide our children is to show and tell. Show and tell. Show them and tell them. Show them and tell them. Show and tell. Not just for you to be telling them. Not just for you to be telling them. Show it. Show it. Show them how to do these things. Set limits. That is another way to guide them. Set limits for yourself. Set limits for things that they can eat. Can you still hear me? Am I still being heard? This is showing me that my network is unstable. Please let me know if you can still hear me. Let me know if you can still hear me. Are you getting value? Are you getting value? Are you getting value? Are you getting value? Okay. So set limits. That's what we're talking about now. How to guide your children. If you are not setting limits, it will be difficult for your child to also know how to set limits. And please set the right limits. set the right limits. If you want to make your child to be consistent in returning home at maybe 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. when they grow, start from you now. They are watching. No matter where my daddy is, no matter where my mommy is, they don't stay late out. They don't do things that are irrelevant. They don't make friends anyhow. They make friends with meaningful people. A friend of mine just shared with me recently that she was even surprised that the son told her, "Oh, my mommy, now you are making friends with the right people." And then she was like, "So you also saw that, or you are seeing that?" I'm sure that some people will say, "What do you mean? Are you trying to say that I can't make the right decisions?" So we need to know how to set limits. We need to know how. Another very important thing that we need to know is to listen to understand them. We need to be ready to listen, not to respond, but to understand. Listen to understand them. Coach Wendy was sharing with us a video of a girl that spat on the father. They were having a conversation. The conversation was not going the way the girl wanted. She just spit on the father. And then the man went to get a belt. Immediately, he wanted to belt her, wanted to beat her. The wife blocked him and said, "No, you cannot." No, but no. The mother faced the girl. She started talking to her, saying some things, saying, "No, this is not accept." Nobody was interested in waiting, calming down to say, "What is happening to my child? What could have made my child to do this to our own father?" Girls love their fathers. I hope we all know. I hope we all know that girls love their father. I have a practical example in my house. Girls love their father. They don't do anyhow to their father. So whatever has made that girl to do that to her father needs to be understood. If she feels that she's not being seen in the house, she will do something crazy, so that at least everybody's attention will be drawn to her. Everybody will now look at her and say, "What is wrong with you?" Now, at that point, the things that you say to her, the things that you do to her will now be very important. It will now make her to begin to see you, think about you. "Oh, my dad is always like this. My mom is always like this. Whenever anything happens, this is the way they handle it." So if you really want to guide your child, you must be ready to listen to understand it. And one important thing that we don't also do, we don't acknowledge them when they do good things. Before you left home, there was about 5 things that the child was supposed to do. They're supposed to wash clothes, wash plates, cook food, clean the floor, and maybe out of everything, possibly they did everything, but they did one really stood out. Maybe they washed the dishes and it was so clean, sparkling clean, but other things that you wanted to see them do well that they didn't do well, they used that to rub off on all the good one that they did, and that good one that they did was not even recognized. So that one alone can discourage them. Whenever they do good, let's acknowledge them. You're guiding them already. You are teaching them to know. So when they see their friends outside, maybe in their class, they see somebody writing his notes, listening and not disturbing, say, "Oh, you are doing well. This is good." They don't criticize, even if it's somebody that has always been disturbing in the class. But that particular day, this person did well, listened well in the class, did everything he was supposed to do. They would also be able to extend it to their siblings. They will be able to extend it with their classmates. They will be able to extend it to their friends, because this is what they are getting back home. Are we here at all? The chat room is very quiet. I'm not getting our feedback. What's happening? Are we here at all? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I just want to be sure that we are getting value. Are we getting value? Okay, we are powerfully here. Thank you. Thank you for being powerfully here. So we're still talking about how to guide our children. Another very important thing is we must know when to respond. So there are times that my children are saying many things at the same time, or maybe they've done something, they just broke something, just spoiled, or maybe something happened, they said something, maybe they said something that they were not supposed to say, or they responded. At that time is not the time to respond back. No, discipline is not, is never, and will never be an emergency. Discipline is not, has never been, and will never be an emergency. There's no emergency in trying to correct a child. Yes, I learned this late actually. So I'm not talking to us from a place of perfection. No, 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 no. Have been there. I have experienced a lot. I have done some things that I was not supposed to do, but it was all at the time when I didn't have knowledge. Right now, with knowledge, there is power. Knowledge is powerfully power. I can tell you. Knowledge is truly power. When you have knowledge, I can tell you that there is a lot you can achieve. So we must know when to respond to our children. And children know how to test the limits. It's like one of the good things, the good jobs that God has handed over to them. They will test your limits. They will do things that in your head you'll be telling yourself, after everything I've taught you, after everything I've shown you, is this what you're supposed to do? Yes, they know how to test limits. That might not be a good time to respond. There's no emergency with it. So that is one of the reasons why we need to manage our emotions. As a parent, you must be ready to manage your emotions. The best gift you can give your child is to be able to manage the way you feel with all of their actions. Let's think of it. How have we been managing our colleagues at work? Are we saying that our colleagues have not been doing anything, everything that they've been doing has been perfect? They have not. Oh, I have them a lot, and I know they have not been perfect. But you have never taken care to beat your colleagues now, even those ones that you are older than. You are 10 years older than them, you are 15 years older than them, you are 20 years older than them. You can never beat them. How do you get to control that emotion? So, what has the child done? This child did not kill anybody. I still went out today and something happened. So this girl was sitting beside me. Somebody celebrated 50th birthday today, and I went to celebrate with him. And then I was sitting in that party. A girl is about 5 years, 5, 6 years. She was sitting beside me, and the father was at the back. I just saw that the father kept pushing her, beating her. At a time, I was trying to manage the situation. The girl keeps, the man was using eyes, using legs, using everything to talk to her. She was not responding. Then I turned and said, "Sir, can you please allow this girl to be?" Because at a point, there was a time he pushed her, and then she almost fell. Ah, The thing was already doing me like, I wanted to ask him, Daddy, are you truly the father of this girl? So he said, some adults are coming and there may not be seats for them. So she needs to stand up so that adults can sit. So I said, what happens to her when she stands up? Are you going to give her another seat, or she will now stand up and then the adult sit? We are not guiding the child that way. For me, I would have said she should sit and then the adult stands. This is a 5-year-old. I don't even think that this girl will be up to 5. Not for, we are not achieving. That is not the right place to teach her. That you stand, you not push her, stand, stand, stand. You're supposed to have taught her. If you truly want her to see an adult and then greet an adult, you want her to see an adult and then stand up for the adults. You be a role model. You teach her. Teach. That teaching is the real discipline. That is the discipline. It is not at the point when you see some people, they see a child outside, the child is not greeting an adult, and they're not saying, greet now, greet, you're not beating the child, greet. No, that's not the time to teach. So we are not doing our own responsibility. We are not training up. If you are truly training up, you would have trained the child. You could have discipline. Discipline is instruction. Discipline is teaching. Discipline is role modeling. You should have disciplined the child, taught the child what to do when they are outside. It is not why they're outside that they will now start. So for me, if I see my daughter, because I know that I have taught, she sees an adult and she didn't greet that adult, I might not even say anything for the whole of that day. Maybe the day that we're having our family meeting, or the day we're having our one-on-one conversation, I can bring it up. Oh, Joanna, why didn't you greet that mommy that you saw? That auntie, why didn't you greet? Did anything happen? Has she done anything? Because you never can tell. Children are not stupid. They know the right thing to do. Something, so maybe the child had not seen it as important. Maybe you have not taught. So before you beat a child, you must teach. Don't ever beat. In fact, no beating at all. Don't ever give consequences for what you have not taught. So I don't advocate for beating. I don't advocate for punishing a child, but I advocate for giving consequences. However, you give consequences only for what you have disciplined a child about. So in our own time, we see discipline as punishment, but discipline is not punishment. Discipline is teaching. Discipline is instruction. Discipline is teaching. Discipline is instruction. Discipline is not punishment. So whatever you cannot do in the house, you don't do it outside. That time that you are doing it, that time that you are trying to say, oh yeah, this, oh yeah, this is, you are not teaching. The child is not learning anything. It's not learning anything. So we need to do it the right way. So we must be a role model. Those are the ways to guide a child. We must communicate. A lot of us are not communicating with our children. We're just shouting up and down. In fact, some people are using emotional blackmail. I'm your mother. The child knows. You don't have to tell the child. He knows. He's aware. I was the one that born you. I was the one that raised you. You don't need all of those things. Just communicate. Once you identify what is not right, use it as a teachable moment. It's an opportunity to teach the child. It's an opportunity for discipline, not an opportunity for punishment. How another thing is to be consistent. We need to be consistent. If you are doing something today, please stick to it. Don't do one thing, don't teach one thing today and go and teach another thing. You are not encouraging good behavior by that. You are not encouraging good behavior by doing that. So we need to ensure that we are consistent with our actions and with our behavior. So now let's look at how do we allow children to explore life on their own. Allowing a child to explore life on their own is talking about giving children space, freedom to discover and learn independently, to be able to make their own choices within appropriate boundaries. Look at it. Look at all the words in that definition. Giving children freedom and space to discover and learn independently. So there are going to be a lot of discovering at the time of exploration. A lot of discovering will be taking place. They will be able to learn independently. They will be able to make their own choices. And of course, within appropriate boundaries. All of this will not happen if you have not guided the child. That is why I had to lay a good foundation for guidance. If you have done the work of guidance appropriately, allowing a child to explore will not be an issue. Because what we want to do with allowing our children to explore is that we want to help them develop self-reliance. We want to help them develop problem-solving skills. We want to help their creativity while we are fostering a sense of autonomy and personal growth. There's a reason why you need to allow your child to explore. You need to develop problem solving, critical thinking skills, creativity skills. So when my daughter complains, oh, why do these PHCN people take light? Why do NEPA take light? I said, that's for you to not begin to think. What can we do? What has the developed world done that has made them to have sustained electricity that we are not getting right? Be a problem solver, not a complainer. In our own time, we were made to think that it is not our job. So everybody left it. We all left it to government. We all left it to people that we think, oh, it is the work of these people to do this. So my own job is just go to school and know my God. That is what a lot of people have trained their children to be. Go to school and get all the grades. My coach wrote a book that we're reading currently, How to Raise a Trophy Child. Raising a trophy child is actually challenging. And funny enough, a lot of us that have trophy children don't even know that it is a challenging time for those children. We're raising them wrongly. Why do we really need to allow our children to explore? Why? Why is it so important to allow children to explore? Number one most important thing, it promotes independence. This child can think on their own. It promotes independence. If you die today, do you think you have equipped your child with what it takes for them to explore their world? Let me see how many people can answer that question confidently. I'm checking the chat. I'm checking the chat room. We're not praying for death. I'm sure we all know that. But do we think that we have equipped our children? Who is sincere enough to answer this question? Do we think that we have equipped our children to explore their world, to be able to navigate? Nobody has answered the question. What's happening? Are we here? Are we here? Or we are all saying, no, 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 I've done it, I've done it, I've done it. Before now, I can't say that I've done it. But right now, I can confidently say that I have started and I'm on that journey already. Thank you, my sister. No, ma, I have not. Yes, we need to begin to think. I deliberately make my children to go through some situations, and I tell them, I explain to them. I say, anywhere you find yourself, just know that every home is not the same. So you'll be able to thrive anywhere you find yourself. Don't expect perfection from any home. Now, your parents might have gone an extra mile to get knowledge. Some parents might think, oh, I will raise my children just the same way I was raised. So they might not be doing anything extra to develop themselves or to raise their children well. So when you find yourself in that kind of home, just know that whatever you find is a step to discipline. Some people complain when they go, maybe they go to their uncle's place, and then they begin to say, oh, they are still very small, God will guide, god will God will help us to guide them aright as they grow. Amen. Yes, God will help, but we must be ready. We must be ready to do the work, because parenting is real time job. Real time job. And unfortunately, that is the only job that we are not giving attention. There are some things that God will not come down to do for us. He has equipped us with everything that we need to be able to raise them appropriately. So why do we need to allow our children to explore? It allows and enhances creativity. Exploration allows creativity. When you allow a child to go and play in the sand, allow them to go and play in the open air, they are not locked up in this on the screen. They think, oh, these birds that are flying, what is the rationale that's keeping them in the sky, that is not making them down? That is the way a child thinks. They begin to play with anything that they find and ask questions from it. That's where it starts from. Explore their environment. Why does this happen this way? Why does that happen this way? What our children need to explore is not on the screen. It is on the streets. It is in the world where they live in. It is in the day-to-day activity that they are experiencing. Exploration helps to develop critical thinking skills. It helps our children to begin to see themselves from a different, even from the way they learn in school. They will know how to explore. They will know how to answer questions. So during PTA meeting last term, I asked in my daughter's school, why are they giving them assignments that they have to do on the phone? Because we won't give phone to our children for any reason. There's nothing that they are looking for on the phone. That's why we're buying textbooks. The school library should be well equipped to provide as much that will allow these children to explore. The phones are the easy way out. Is that what we want for our children? They will not develop resilience. That's my next point. Why do you need to allow children to explore? It builds resilience. It builds resilience, and I'm sure we know what resilience is. Even in the face of failure, they are still pushing on. And I tell you, there is no child that is small. Even a 3-year-old can build a resilience skill. They are working on their toys. They are frustrated. They scatter everything. They start crying. They start throwing tantrums. And we say, oh, it's because he's a child. He's still a child. He's still a child. That is the way it starts. That is where it starts from. And we keep labeling them as being a child. As being a child. It is because he's still a child. He has not understood. We need to teach. We need to teach. There are age appropriate learnings for children, even for a 1 year old, for a 2 year old, for a 3 year old. In fact, for people that have toddlers, I congratulate you specially, because you are the most if okay, let me say people that are still pregnant now, they are the luckiest, because you are going to start early with the quality of information that you are getting. So everything begins with parents. Everything, it begins with parents. It begins with you. Let your children see you as a curious person that is ready to try out new things, that is ready to embrace difficult things. We're talking about building resilient children. But even we as parents, we give up easily. You have been trying to work on something, it's not working, you give up. You were doing this business before, it's not working, you close it down, you give up. They are watching. They are watching. The kind of decisions we make, the kind of way we handle our failure, the way we handle our successes, these are ways that shows to our children that even as parents, we are ready to embrace difficult things. We are ready to try new things. Some people find it difficult to try out new things. Some people are so resistant to change. When change is coming, or when change comes to them, they fight it with everything they have, just because they feel the only way they know is the only way that is right. So we say exploration in life begins with us as parents. Share your moment of exploration in life with your children, and share lessons that you have learned in every situation. We need to stop this habit of telling our children that everything was perfect with us. There are people that tell their children I was the best in my class. I don't make mistakes. Whenever I start something, I don't experience any difficulty. No, that is not a right way to explore. Whenever we experience any issue, it's an opportunity to teach our children. And the lessons that we learn from it, we also help them. So they can find themselves in any situation later in life. The lessons that they have learned from us as their parents, we help them to navigate those situations when it comes. Let's learn to share our excitement when we discover new ideas, new tools, new places, new things that can even help us. That is for those of us that are ready to learn, that are ready to develop ourselves. Let's share with our children. Don't think they are still so small. They cannot understand. No matter how much I try to explain to them, they might not get it. No. We must be ready to provide an environment that encourages exploration. We must be ready. And we should provide opportunities for free play, opportunities for unstructured play, open-ended exploration, like mixing colors together, molding clay, building Legos, climbing trees, exploring with things around them. We must be ready to provide opportunities for them. We should ask them when they are back from school. Don't just ask them, how was your day? No, we have gone past that level. We have gone past that level. Ask them questions about how they have impacted other people around them. This is very important. And when our children discover new things, we should celebrate them. Don't say, you, that thing is not for people like you. Just go and sit down. It's not even for somebody like you. No. We should encourage them. We should celebrate them. Let them feel seen. Let them feel identified. Let them feel recognized. We should stop dictating the direction of their exploration. Allow their mind. There's no box anywhere. Let's remove all the boxes and allow our children to explore. Let them explore their world. We need to trust their instincts. Trust their instincts. Allow them to follow their own interests. No matter what it is, trust their instincts. When we do all of this, we are equipping our children. We are equipping them with enriching experiences that will impact on their future later in life. And we should also encourage personal journaling. They should journal. They should record different instances, different situations that they are facing, what they have done to impact on their world, what they can do better. They should document it. Our children need to begin to learn that their development can also be achieved with proper journaling. So you can see, when we lay a good foundation with guidance, allowing children to explore their world will just be a walkover. So I stop here today. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. And God so good, our network was also favorable. Do I have questions? Questions for me? Questions for me? Do I have any questions? Do I have questions? Questions, questions. I'm not seeing our questions. I'm not seeing our questions. I'm not seeing our questions. Did we get value from this session? Is there anything that we have learned today? Is there anything that we have learned? Is there anything that we're taking back? Okay, I can't see any responses in the chat. Can't see anybody saying anything. Are we all here? I want to be sure that we are here. Can you all hear me? How do we respond to critics? Can you expatiate on this? Okay. Yes, discipline is not an emergency and will never be an emergency. Never, never, never. Never, never, never. A child that does not know how to say sorry, if she is worried, what will you do to her? I didn't get that question. A child that doesn't know how to say sorry. Okay. So when we say a child that doesn't know how to say sorry, it means that we have not taught. We should never ask. Okay. He said, if she is wrong, what will you do to her? I will not do anything. The first thing I will do to her, I will not do anything to her. I will do something to myself first. And the first thing I will do to myself is to check, have I taught my child how to say sorry, when to say sorry? What happens that makes me to know that I am supposed to apologize? So we need to also begin to check ourselves. Do we even say sorry to this child, to our children? Do we do it? Yes, children might be wrong. They might be wrong because they don't know which way is right. But when we teach them the right way, that right way will rewrite their wrongs. So that's the way it is. So let's start from us. Let's start from us. Okay. How do we respond to critics who see you, who is intentional as a parent, as over savvy? You don't have to respond to them. All you have to do is to focus on your journey, because I tell you, you are not an over savvy. You are just on your right journey. You are doing the best for your child. The only challenge that I see here is that later on, your child is also growing with their own children. If care is not taken, they can pollute your child. So you need to check your environment. Check the environment where you are raising your child. That's why some people cannot raise their children in some environment. Don't even think that because you are family, you must be glued to these people. They are rigid. They are not ready to embrace change. They are even ready to criticize you that you are embracing change. You need to run for the sake of your children. It is called self-preservation. I tell you, my children already know the quality to look for in a man that they want to marry. My None of my girls will marry an idiot. I tell you. So if you like, don't train your child. Don't improve on yourself. Don't develop yourself. We are going to be intentional in ensuring that our children are well equipped to face their journey. We are not raising foolish virgins here. We are raising the wise virgins. So yes, some people will see you as over sabi. Over sabi, please embrace your over sabiness with all joy. Don't feel bad about it at all. Raise your shoulders high as if you have a PhD in this over sabiness. Yes, it is worth more than that. It is the best gift you can give to your child. I am saying this confidently. I'm telling you, there is no alternative to doing the right thing. On this parenting journey, if our parents had gotten knowledge, we would have been better than this. I am not saying in terms of maybe the work we are doing or the amount of money that we have. The world would have been better. We are living in a cruel world, even among Christians. And everybody is praying every day. And we think that we turned out okay. We did not turn out okay. We didn't turn out okay. And this is simply because most people don't even know that they did not turn out okay. It is worse off when people don't even know that they did not turn out okay. You think because you have the money, you have the big jobs, you have the good jobs. I was still telling a colleague of mine today, I said, if people had gotten the right development, if our own parents' generation have looked for information, maybe the workplace would have even been a better place. We have a lot of parents that have raised narcissists as children, and these are the same people that are going into the world to get married, to raise children the same way. No, we cannot continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So we need to be intentional. We need to, that intentionality, please carry it on your forehead. Use it to do a crown. So you have a crown. In fact, if rapture happens today, trust me, if you have raised your child well, you have a special place in heaven because you have fulfilled scriptures. But if you are not intentional about raising your children, I'm sorry, I am not God, but I'm sure that you have not fulfilled the scriptures that says we should train up. It is important. Don't bother yourself about people that think that you have not done enough. Or sorry, that people that think that you are doing too much. Tell them that you are fulfilling scriptures. Train up. You are training up your child. You are training them up. You are doing the right thing, the best thing for your child, and you should be proud of it. Yes. So I think I have answered. How do we respond to critics? Yes. I have also learned to be patient to understand the rationale behind their actions. Very well, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. I'm also grateful for you being here. Yes, you said you have learned self preservation, being a role model, allowing your children to explore, allowing them to make and learn from their mistakes, and being patient with them. Yes, yes, yes. We have learned a lot. I have also learned, and I know that I am working on my journey as well. Nobody is on a journey of perfection, especially because our parents did not even have information. So yes, our parents had excuse. The information that was even accessible at that time was not as much as what we have now. Right now, we have information. Although we have a lot of information, so we should be ready and intentional in knowing the right information and follow it. I can tell you that is the best gift you can give to your child. It's not about sending your children abroad, buying the best iPhone or the best this or the best that for your child. No, it's about training. The best gifts you can give is about training your children. Train up your child in the way they should go. And when they grow, they will never depart from it. Before we leave tonight, I would like to remind us that February 1st is our induction at the Parents Motivator Academy. I'm looking forward to having you there. I'm looking forward to see you join us. Have you paid? Have you booked? Have you paid? Please ensure that you complete your payment before the 1st of February. For those that are coming from our Parents Motivator group of 2024, you have a whooping 50% discount. You are expected to pay 30,000 naira. However, for those that are new on this platform, you are going to pay a sum of 60,000 naira, and it is all worth it. I am going to be holding your hand. I am going to be giving you practical steps, realistic steps that would help you to raise awesome children. I tell you, can you see all the joy that fills my heart because of this? It is the best thing you can do for your child. It is the best gift you can give to your child. So come join me. I am here to be your accountability partner. I am available to hold your hand. We will have a lot of activities to do together in the course of this year 2025. Yes, and I tell you, by the end of 2025, we're singing a new song. Yes, that's what I said. And I am sure that that's what's going to happen. If you are ready to learn, if you are ready to unlearn, and if you are ready to relearn, then you should join us. And you will definitely have a lot to learn. You will have a lot to unlearn. Those practices that are not given, you are going to drop them and you are going to relearn more things. Thank you and have a beautiful, beautiful evening. See you next week, Saturday, February 1 at the induction. I hope you are going to be there. I hope you are joining us. And I hope you are ready to take your parenting journey on a different level this year. Bye for now.